I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
The race for the 8th seed is extremely intense right now, as the NBA season passes its halfway point, and it's pretty much down now to 3 or 4 teams: the Memphis Grizzlies, San Antonio Spurs, maybe the New Orleans Pelicans, and of course, the Portland Trailblazers. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Portland Trailblazers, their season so far, and go over whether I believe they can make the playoffs or not. If you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content like this. But with that being said, let's talk about the Portland Trailblazers.
Lucas.
The Portland Trailblazers are currently the 9th seed in the Western Conference with a record of 25-31. The Blazers had a very rough start to the year and never could seem to get a groove going. At one stage, they were even the 13th seed, which is crazy to think about considering they made the Western Conference Finals last year. However, they signed Carmelo Anthony, who's been making a bigger impact than expected, and along with some other factors, they've been playing decently as of late, going 6-4 in their last 10 games and 8-7 in their last 15. This has in turn lifted them back into the playoff hunt. So, who's been playing well as of late and giving them one last chance at a spot in the playoffs? Well, if you've been paying attention to the NBA recently, you know who it is, and he's literally the only player I can think of who's been consistently great lately for Portland. That guy is Damian Lillard. Lillard has been on an absolute tear recently, leading up to the All-Star break, averaging 40 points per game. Yes, 40 points in his last 12 games. He also had about a 5-game stretch in the middle of January where he averaged about 47 or 48 points per game, which is insane. Lillard is pretty much single-handedly carrying the Blazers to the playoffs right now. He's been the only consistent player on Portland since the new decade began and has been getting Portland big wins when they need them. He's been putting the team on his back. Unfortunately though, particularly as of recent, Lillard sometimes cannot seem to get the job done due to the lack of support, as well as some calls not going in his favour, like in the Utah Jazz game. Little things like that can make a big difference in the NBA and could cost a team a playoff spot or land them one. That's why I understand Lillard's recent outbursts and frustrations. All I know is that if the Blazers make the playoffs this season, it's on the back of Damian Lillard and Lillard only. He is the sole reason as to why they're even in the hunt currently. Again, Portland is on the back of Lillard right now, and he's doing everything he can to scrape them into that 8th seed. And that is the only player I believe who's been playing exceptionally well as of late for Portland and is giving them that higher chance of getting a playoff spot. Obviously, guys like Carmelo Anthony and McCollum have been good at times, but they've never been consistent enough for me to feel like they are making that much of an impact. I'll be honest, that's why I decided to only talk about Lillard there. But in general, why have the Blazers been mediocre this season? After such a good season last year, why have they fallen off? The first reason as to why I believe the Portland Trailblazers are having a lackluster year is due to injuries. It's no secret that the Blazers have dealt with numerous injuries these last couple seasons, and it's having a major impact on the team. The biggest one I can think of is Nurkic's injury, as his absence has been very costly. Without his skill and good defense, the Blazers' depth in the big man position has plummeted and has caused Portland to resort to guys like Whiteside, who haven't been great to say the least, particularly on defense. I assure you that without these injuries, the Blazers' current position in the standings would be very different to what it is right now. Another reason as to why Portland has fallen off this season is because many of the core players on Portland's roster have been very inconsistent. Guys like McCollum, Hassan Whiteside, and even Carmelo Anthony at times have failed to get into a rhythm and keep up a good level of play for a long stretch of games. I often notice that a player has a great game and the next shoots poorly from the field and only scores half the points they did the night before. This on and off unpredictability is obviously hurting Portland and has been causing them to play relatively poorly for most of this season. And the final reason as to why I believe the Portland Trailblazers have dropped down the standings this season kind of links with the previous two, and that's the defense Portland plays or lack thereof. With guys like Hassan Whiteside holding down the paint, this should have been expected, and it's known that Dame and CJ aren't the best defenders out there. This has caused them to be a bottom 5 team in points allowed per game, and is most likely playing a role in the Blazers currently sitting outside the playoff picture. So those are the reasons as to why I believe the Blazers have fallen off this season and might miss the playoffs after such a successful season last year. But there is still a chance to sneak in, so it's not all over yet. However, to make the playoffs, they need to beat out the other 4 teams in the race for the 8th seed: New Orleans, San Antonio, and Memphis. So, can they? Let's look at Memphis quickly, as they hold the 8th seed. They are currently 4 games clear of the 9th seed Trailblazers, but have the hardest schedule in the entire NBA after the All-Star break. This means if Memphis start losing games quite regularly in this hard schedule, Portland has a big chance to close the gap on them and perhaps beat them out. Portland have the 6th easiest schedule, so that helps them too. New Orleans, however, have the easiest upcoming schedule for the rest of the season, but the Blazers are much more likely to make it over them, as well as other competitor San Antonio, in my opinion. So, can the Portland Trailblazers make the playoffs? Yes, in my opinion they can, and out of these 4 teams competing for that final spot, I have them making it as of now. It won't be easy though, and Lillard is probably going to have to continue the stretch he is on if they want to have the best shot at making it, but even if he does play like he was earlier on in the season at an all-star level but not MVP level, I still believe the Blazers will take it, as a lot of things are going in their favour right now. Obviously, guys like CJ McCollum and Carmelo Anthony have work to do. They need to put their best foot forward and play at a good level consistently, because some players on Portland, not just the 2 I mentioned, have been disappointing this year. If they can turn things around after this break, it will make things a lot easier for Portland and for Dame Dollar. Overall, can the Portland Trailblazers make the playoffs? Yes, they can. I have them finishing as the 8th seed on the back of Damian Lillard. If the other supporting players can step up and be consistent after the break, things will be looking bright for Portland. With teams like Memphis having a tough schedule ahead, there is a big opportunity for Portland to clinch that final seed. It's just down now to whether they are ready to take it or not. And that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? Will the Portland Trailblazers make the playoffs to you? What seed do you have them finishing? And if they miss the playoffs, who's clinching the 8th seed? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.